What's poppin', everybody? Welcome to Top 5 Comics of April 2025. Somehow we're starting early, but also starting late. Go figure. No, moving forward, we're going to move this show to 7 p.m. Unfortunately, today I should have been home around 6 p.m. my time, and we had a bad wreck. I didn't have a bad wreck. There was a bad wreck on my way home that caused standstill traffic. And then a fun time at an intersection, as Drew reminded me what that thing was called. That's the in between area under stoplights. If you could have seen my face trying to say intersection, I was like, I forgot what this thing is called. But we're here. We're gonna be talking comics. We have announcements we'll have at the end of the show because this won't be our only comic stream of the week. But before we do anything, I do have to say hello to my main man, Drew. What's up, brother? How are you?
Hi. I'm good. It's been a good week so far. Been a very productive week. Just sent off our print file for the Dallas Fan Expo exclusive to the printers today.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep. So that is done in the can, and I believe Aaron has finished his print file up as well. His is off to the printers too today as well.
Whoop.
And actually, also breaking news here, I am finalizing a deal. Hopefully this will be happening here in a couple weeks. Unholy Nightmare 2 will be advertised on a Roku channel.
Oh. Huh. How does that work?
Let's just say the channel owner, he reached out to me.
Sweet.
Through my advertisements on Facebook and Instagram. He said, "Hey man, and you know when I saw the profile, the name and the profile, I'm like, no way is this him." And you know, you got to do your due diligence anymore on these profiles. It can be just some whack job. And nope, sure enough, it was him. And when he says like he digs my stuff and how he's turned down all these others, and he's like he wants mine on his channel. It's like, okay, we're doing this. Yeah,
let's do it. That's freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So do we have like a timeline to expect that?
I think in about at the earliest next week, latest 2 weeks.
Nice. So I've got to show this real quick because Cajun Corey came in with, I'm guessing it's not Eric July. Laugh out loud.
No, this is on. If you have the Roku, you have the Roku network, the Roku channel TV thing. There's a bunch of different channels on there. I will be on a certain channel on there advertised, and he's going to be advertising it heavily in rotation.
Nice.
From May through June. So once we get everything locked into place and it's ready to go, then I'll be sharing it. Yeah.
Heck yeah. That's pretty freaking awesome, dude. I am stoked to see how that turns out. So
yeah, this is the guy. Like when I say his name, it's gonna be one of those names where people are like, "Wait a minute, I know that name," and then you start talking about what he did. It's like, oh, wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to know. Other than that, I think I'm gonna make you full screen for this. We have a few things to talk about before we get into our month's comics, but you had a fun little experience. I'm gonna take you full screen real quick.
Yeah.
Getting something that I would say weren't expecting in the mail.
I was not expecting this at all, any way, shape, or form. So I've got here a leather-bound book. It's called Bernie Writson, A Look Back. Now, why does this have any significance? What's so special about this? Well, kids, if you're not familiar with Bernie Writson is an artist. I mean, if Frank Frazetta is arguably one of the most famous painters in the world, Bernie Writson is certainly up there. Bernie Writson is a close 1B, if not number 2, right behind Frank Frazetta. Frank Frazetta admired Bernie's work. He pushed Bernie to get the work to work in the comics and everything. So if he's famous for doing his Frankenstein adaptation as well as Stephen King adaptations. He's a legend, legit. Look him up. co-creator of Swamp Thing as well.
Yep, huge legend.
Yes, and like that's a term that gets thrown around loosely, very loosey goosey, But Bernie Wrightson, legend, is associated with him. There's no hyperbole there. But anyway, story time. So we're going in the Wayback Machine to 2015. I am at a convention with a lady friend of mine, and Bernie Wrightson was one of the guests. And he had a line, people, and he was selling a lot of stuff. And I went off to go talk to some other artists because I'm like, I was impatient, didn't want to wait in line. So my lady friend stayed in line. She went to go talk to Bernie, and she had asked him if he had anything expensive, a special left, or whatever. And he's like, no, I'm pretty much cleared out, and said like, well, if you, I may have something, back where I'm at, but if you give me your name, address, I can personalize it and sign it and send it to you, if you want to pay me now for it. So she did, and never got it. Nothing happened, and lo and behold, 2 years later, Bernie Wrightson dies, R.I.P. And I guess she had just chalked it up to a loss. It was just whatever it was, just never, not going to happen. And fast forward to now, to about last week, 2 weeks ago, 2025, a package shows up in the mail, and addressed to her, and it is this book, Bernie Wrightson, A Look Back. And this book was published in 1979. But the kicker about it is that it is personalized to me from Bernie Wrightson.
Heck yeah. That's wild. To Andrew.
Yes. So if you're wondering, what the hell? Yeah. Is that his real? Yes. Andrew is my real name. So there you go. Secret's out. But what's special about this book is that it is a time capsule. Because
Chicago, a mysterious.
There we go. Okay. Sorry. I didn't realize I was going to come in like that.
What's special about this is that it's a time capsule, and that this came out right when he was in the middle of his production of Frankenstein. So he wasn't done yet. He was still doing some rough sketches. He had finished a couple of the pages, so his work, he did a piece per chapter for the opening of the chapter. So like this one, for example, he had done. But what's cool about this is that he's got like the rough sketches of those pages. But I mean, look at this. This is God tier.
Yeah. And what's crazy is like, I mean, look, we've got you full screen, but you still can't even see like all the cross hatching and stuff that he has. But it's so detailed and it's so good.
And he did that by hand. No computer, nothing. All by hand in his imagination. Yeah, here they are. You got some of the rough sketches he did for each of those pages, which is pretty priceless to see.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking awesome.
Oh, and the other thing about him, what was cool about him, is that he would make clay busts of his figures and sculptures, so that way he could be able to get the lighting and the shadows correctly. And he did that for Frankenstein. He made a clay bust of him. That way he could be able to get it just right.
Hell yeah.
This is honestly, I've never, ever, ever seen this book before out in the wild. And this is easily the most valuable property besides my life that I own right now. And when she showed this to me, I'm still floored. I'm still like, is this real? It's just one of those things where it's like, how does this happen?
I think the really wild. What year did you say that it was that she went up to him at the convention?
2015.
2015. So the fact that it essentially has been lost in the mail anywhere from 7 to 8 years.
Yeah.
Most likely that's what's just crazy. Like it's crazy. I mean, maybe even longer than that. Yeah. So yeah, no, that's wild. When you first sent us the that you would receive that, or that came in and kind of gave the story behind it, I was like, dude, this is wild, man. Like you just, And then the fact that I had what did I say? Like because I made the comment, I'm surprised it came in looking as nice as it did. And you were like, yeah, it was just wrapped in plastic. Did you say it was just wrapped in plastic?
Yeah, just wrapped in plastic.
That's wild, man. That blew my mind. But no, it's a super cool book. And I don't know. My comic shop owner has a lot of little books like that. I don't know if he's got that. But he's got a lot of these oversized that shows like the breakdown of art and stuff within things. And like, I don't know, that stuff is just cool. That's something I want to.
Yeah, it's like I'm tempted to bring it down to Dallas so you guys can check it out.
Yeah,
because I mean, honestly, if you are an artist or if you love art history, this is a book you need to learn from, study from, and just bask in the genius. Max has his Frazetta book. I've got this. He's never going to get one. He's never going to get one of these.
If you bring it to Dallas, I'm just going to imagine you like sitting on the plane, just like holding it. It's just like it's not leaving my arms.
Well, I'm flying down first class, so I'll make sure I have the stewardess take a picture of me with it. Just holding it like here. Yeah.
Hey, if no one's sitting in the seat next to you, just put it there. You're like, it needs its own seat. I love it. No, that's awesome, dude. Like, I was actually really, really excited for you when you got that and explained the story. Too, just did she ever tell you that she had gotten it and then y'all were just like waiting? Okay.
No, she never did, because I mean, she knows
right.
She knows I like to be surprised. She knows I like surprises. And
that's wild.
So yeah, just never told me, and just I guess because it never happened, she never got it. She just like, screw it.
Forgot about it. Yeah.
I'm not going to give us hopes up. I'm not going to ruin it. So
yeah. Sheesh. No, that's crazy. I absolutely love that. I love the story around it. I love the book itself. I hope you do bring it to Dallas so I can selfishly flip through it. But no, that's freaking awesome, dude. I'm excited for you. So that is not our only show and tell for tonight. We have a lot of you. I mean, no surprise here, but Drew's got a lot of stuff going on. So I will go ahead and lead with I'm dropping the link for the Kickstarter for Unholy Nightmare 2. I mean, it makes sense because we kind of talked about it earlier. So we just dropped that in there, and we've got some covers to look at real quick. And we have a video. I don't know what you want to start with.
It's showrunner's discretion. I'll let you whatever you want to do.
Let's kick things off with the video, and then we'll go and we'll talk about some of these covers. Does that work?
Sounds like a plan.
Sweet. All right, let me bring this sucker to the stage.
Chicago, a mysterious masked hero fights against the forces of evil. He is the recluse and has a secret ally, a cop who goes undercover in the criminal underworld. Together, they face a deadly new threat. A drug that turns humans into monstrous creatures as they try to stop the drug trade. They discover a hidden realm of horrors that will test their courage and loyalty. Will they survive?
The Unholy Nightmare.
From the creators of the hit comic book series Born of Blood, Aurelio Mazzara and Dolan and I, comes a new action-packed adventure that will take you to the edge of your seat. Enter a world where superheroes and monsters collide and nothing is what it seems. Don't miss Unholy Nightmare 2, the comic book event of the year.
Unholy Nightmare Dos, for those that speak Spanish. Dude, that trailer. So first of all, if you picked up the first issue and you read the first issue, you know how that ended. And we kind of got a glimpse of where this issue kicks off, which is kind of after the aftermath, after all the chaos in the warehouse. I'm gonna be Englishing great today. But the second issue, we get introduced to a lot of new characters.
That is correct. We get introduced to the rest of the Unholy Nightmares, if you will, the remaining cast. Some good guys, some bad guys, and like I said, nothing is what it. Not everything is what it appears to be. maybe there's some people you can trust, maybe there's others you can't, and maybe someone will stick around, maybe some won't, maybe some will live, some will die. You gotta read to find out.
Indeed.
And all I know is the very end, and the fact that Aaron didn't see it coming. I'm like, yes, I got him. All right.
Yes. Aaron is hard to surprise. So if you can surprise him and deliver something that he wasn't expecting, that's usually a win. Unless, you write for one of the big two, and then you're probably delivering something that's so bad that he didn't see it coming just because it was so bad. But that's not the case here. I do want to point out some of these covers. We featured one of these in the video here, but we've got this bad girl right here. So give us a little insight. Who did this cover?
Yeah, so I believe his name is Inkari. I believe it's Inkari. I gotta look up how exactly you pronounce his name. Ezekiel. I'm sorry, Ezekiel. He did this.
Nice.
He flipping nailed this and gave it to Dan Kemp, colorist extraordinaire. He's the one. He's colored Spawn back in the day. Worked the Top Cow. Was a colorist there. He nailed the colors for this, and I couldn't be happier with this. I mean, look, you got to have a sexy cover. You have to when you're crowdfunding. So this is just the right amount of spiciness we wanted.
Heck yes. We also have another cover here, and this, I love the story behind this. So go ahead and talk about it, but you'll see we have Arachnus on this cover as well.
It's amazing. It's like I'm almost like Kevin Bacon with like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's just the people I know who are reaching out to me. So this story is wild. So how this all began. So Gene Jimenez, the colorist for Unholy Nightmare, he was the original colorist for Arachnus, which was a 1990s comic book series, which was there was a campaign, like to see like in the Eric Larson Savage Dragon, to see like, hey, which of these characters do you like the most? We'll put them in the next book. And Arachnus was finished in second. It went to like this Red Lobster character, which was like kind of like a joke. But even Eric Larson admitted, he's like, yeah, this should have won afterwards. So eventually there was an Arachnus comic book series in the 90s, and I'm not gonna say it was big, it was huge, but like it was relatively popular in certain circles. People love this, and apparently people in Brazil love this book. People in Brazil are blowing up my Facebook just out of nowhere. I'm like, I don't know how to speak Spanish, man, but okay, you're welcome. So Gene said for me to reach out to Gene and Andrew Mangum, who I've been working with on Unholy Nightmare. They're like, yeah, reach out to Michael, man. See, I think he liked this. I think he liked your stuff. So, and Michael Ortiz was the creator of Arachnus. He's been out of the game now for 20 plus years. He hasn't done comic books for the longest time. And I reached out to him and said, hey, man, I'm a big fan of Arachnus growing up. And I got a character here, the Recluse, my series Unholy Nightmare. Just to let you know, just see what you think. I kept him different from Arachnus. There's really no similarities here at all. And sure enough, he reached out to me shortly afterwards. He dug it, and he's like, so tell me about this. He's like, so what's going on with this? And I told him the history of the story and the character and everything. He's like, he dug it. He's like, that's awesome, man. He's like, he started telling me, he's like, hey, I'm thinking about bringing back Arachnus. You want to help me write it? I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, sure, okay,
Let's do it.
Yeah,
why not?
There's a bear shit in the woods. All right, yeah, let's do this. But I was like, well, in the meantime, we should do a preview. We should do a preview for some pages. We should do a preview edition for Unholy Nightmare 2 at Dallas Fan Expo, where a lot of the creative team is going to be there. There's going to be a lot of fans there. He said, all right, when's Fan Expo Dallas? I'm like, late May. And this is back in January, February. He's like, all right, we got time. Let's do this. So Michael, Michael penciled the cover. He penciled this twice. He penciled the cover twice. Yep. Andrew Mangum has an original, and Michael is giving me the other original at Dallas when he's going to meet us there at Dallas Fan Expo. So,
Nice.
so he did the pencils. Andrew Mangum did the inks, and Gene Jimenez, the colorist of Arachnus originally, he did the colors of the cover here. And we are reintroducing Arachnus in this book. So we've got the preview edition to Unholy Nightmare 2 in here, several pages, and we got some preview pages for the new Arachnus series coming out that I'll be working on with Michael.
Heck yes. I talked about this before, but I also love the whole like full circle of people referencing this last year at Dallas Fan Expo of like, oh, have you heard of Arachnus? Like it's an old, like old 90s comic,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
kind of going about it. And then we had that Sunday where we were hopping around to comic shops.
Yes.
And then, or maybe it was Monday, my bad. That Monday following that we were hopping around to comic shops before y'all's flight. And then we found an Arachnus #1. Fast forward a few months later, you two are in conversation, and then comes full circle like almost a year at this point. We're leading up to Dallas Fan Expo, and it's like joined forces here. I'm like, this is freaking wild. So I think this is outstanding. I love that you guys are teaming up, and I think it's a really cool cover, and I'm looking forward to this little intermingling here.
You're telling me. I mean, I can't wait for Dallas now. I mean, I was really excited that we're all going to be there, but I'm excited now the fact that Michael is going to be there too. So yes, we're not only dear viewers, are Joshy Poo and I are going to be there, but Max, Kyle, Aaron, we're all going to be there. But Michael Ortiz, creator of Arachnus, Andrew Mangum, he's going to be there. I'm trying to talk Gene Jimenez into doing it. I'm telling him, I'm trying to peer pressure him into coming because, we're all here. We're all here, man. You got to come too. So you could be able to get all of us together in one place. And Wes from Thinking Critical, he's going to be here too. We're all.
Yep.
You can get us all to sign this damn book. This could be the one and only time ever be able to get us all in one place.
We're gonna have a huge Thinking Critical crew there. So if you watch Wes and Comics Aficionados, you should come to Dallas. That's all I'm gonna say. We're gonna look at one more cover real quick, and this might be for something a little special. So tell us about this.
Yes, this is a lot special here. I'm very, very, very proud of this. So one of the new characters we're introducing in issue 2 is the Gollum. He's prominent on a lot of our covers, and he is from Jewish folklore. And Aurelio and I had the idea of doing 10-page origin stories for a lot of these new characters. And we thought about doing some in the vein of EC Comics and some just making them very emotionally gripping stories. This is how they came to be. So for this story I wrote for the Gollum, it is told in the style of EC Comics. So if you were to read anything from the Vault of Horror, Shock Suspense stories, Tales from the Crypt, this would be very much in that vein. But our storyteller in this is Vlad. Vlad is a storyteller. He's got little Rennie on his shoulder as he's narrating the origin story of the Gollum. And this is the cover to the Gollum, which will be an add-on to Unholy Nightmare 2. So this will be, I believe we're going to do this for $10. We're going to have this. It's a 10-page origin story of the Gollum. So that cover art there by Vudon, he did the interiors as well. So the cover reflects the interiors, baby. Black and white, pen and ink, all by hand. Vu killed this. And you guys are not going to want to miss this. I mean, as much as I love Unholy Nightmare 2, I'm so much more excited for the Gollum because I am so damn proud of this.
Yeah, this 10-page story. I mean, I got to read this, and I got to read it forever ago, but I also got the interior pages forever ago. And
it's been done for a long time. It's been
done for a long time. And I've just been sitting here like, I want to talk about this, but I can't. And there was a stream where I can't remember it was another Vudon cover for something else. And I was like, oh yeah. And if you think his covers are great, and I'm like, shut the up, Josh, because we hadn't announced he was doing interiors, and you were trying to keep him as close to the chest as possible. So I was like, oh crap, I shouldn't say anything about interiors. But no, I think this 10-page origin story that serves as a backup is a great story. It's beautifully illustrated. I just loved it. And like it doesn't look or feel like anything you can really buy today. And I think
No.
that was purposely done by your approach to do it, like EC Comics, but also Voudon's work. Like we were talking about Writson at the beginning and just his art. And then I've made the comment that Voudon feels like he's heavily inspired just because you see a lot of the same techniques. And it's stuff that you don't really see in art anymore because so much art has gone digital now that, you know, there's shortcuts for creating these types of shading and shadows and textures. And for me, like that, just nothing beats this. And it's a beautiful story. I love it. I'm excited for it. If you don't pick up this 10-page backup origin with issue 2, I'm telling you right now, you're crazy.
So, on that note, let me tell people about Voudon. So, Voudon, he lives in Vietnam. He worked in video games. He worked in just video game animation. He is retired from video game animation. He wanted to get into comic books because he loves comic books. So he's transitioning from video games to comics. And I was his first professional gig. I was the first guy doing his first professional work. And I had him do interiors for this. So what you're seeing here with the Gollum, as well as what he did for the Unholy Nightmare 2 preview edition for MegaCon, this is not going to be the last you're going to see of him. All I'm going to say is come this fall, if you're not on the Voudon train, you're going to be missing out because I'm going to show on Joshipu when we're done with the show something he may or may not be working on that's pretty good. But yeah, do not sleep on this guy. Do not sleep on this book.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what all he does. And he's done other covers for you too, for Depths of Valor, and
that's right.
Everything that I've seen from him is just 10 out of 10, knocks it out of the park, whether it's black and whites like this. And I don't know if you mentioned it, but the entire backup, y'all are keeping it black and white, right?
Oh yeah. It is purely black. Yeah, I mean the closest thing I can liken the art to is Eddie Campbell on From Hell. That's the closest thing I can come to it, but it's not as messy.
Yeah, no. He's got really crisp, clean line work. And then he's just this just meticulous, like pencil and ink work just going on.
He's insane. So if you love this cover, you're gonna love the interiors.
Yeah. And for those of you that don't know, we have mentioned this before, but the way you found him was he reached out to you with like, hey, here's like a fan art sketch. Like,
he sent me a piece of fan art. He loved the Recluse.
Yeah,
so he just sent me a piece of fan art. Dude, I will buy that off you. I'll make that a cover. He's like, oh, really?
And then you did.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we got to say this because you're like, dude, I'll buy that off you. We'll make it a cover. And he's like, oh, no. I got to make it better.
Yeah, he made it better. Yeah, that's right.
I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is already 10 out of 10. So
yeah.
I'm super excited for this. Super excited. I really am excited for the world to see the work that he can do because we've shown his covers, but he's really good at interior art. Like he understands visual storytelling.
Yes. And that's where, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but when you're a good storyteller and you're clear and concise with the story you want to tell, they're gonna nail it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So they got people are asking questions about the link to the campaign to sign up. Sorry, I guess they need that campaign link again.
Let me resend that in. I should probably go on the YouTube side and pin it. But I reposted the link again, so if you guys can see it, get it.
So we can announce this. Friday, June 6th, we are launching Unholy Nightmare 2. That is the launch date. We are launching live on Thinking Critical that night, that Friday night.
Yeah.
We are taking control. We're going to have guests galore, and you guys do not want to miss out.
Wes has no idea what he's got himself into because he's got Aaron taking over Comics Aficionados, and then we're doing the launch of that. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good time. So I dropped the link there. I will get that pinned into YouTube here in a second, but super excited for all of this. And then let me get this lowered.
It's so hard because I have a lot. All my covers are amazing. It's like a parent. You have all your kids. you don't want to play favorites with them, but it's just like
Yeah.
it's so hard because you've seen the rest of the covers. I got a goddamn Splat homage. It's like that's beautiful. And it's just, and I got the Frank Ocean on the his Unholy Nightmare cover. It's like these are all amazing covers.
Indeed. Well, and it's not in the images that we covered, but in the video, you also had that EC Comics homage cover that I
Frank
thought.
Ocean. Yeah.
Like I love that one. I think it's pretty darn fantastic. So, real quick, I do want to get to the chat so we can say some quick hellos and get into our topics for tonight.
Let's do it.
So, real quick, we do have Cajun Corey in the house with evening, sir. How are you? We've got Kaiser Jose coming in with nerds. Yeah, I know we're nerds, but we're cool. We're cool nerds, man. We've got Zax popping in with Joshy. What's up, Zax? How are you? MG's in the house with Sup Boys. What's up, MG? MG, we revealed this previously, but you'll want to make sure you tune in on Thursdays. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. We've got Sassy Sasquatch in the house with a Joshy and Heart Eyes. Hello, Miss Sassy. It's always good to see you. Happy to have you here, friend. And of course, we have to have her other half, the big Sasquatch himself, Cannoli. Good to see you, Cannoli. And then, what would it be if we didn't have Nadia coming in, paying my due to Drew with $9.99. She's wanting those feetsies.
She's wearing those feetsies. Oh yeah.
Hello. But Nadia, thank you for the $9.99. And let me get back to my clips real quick so I can pull something up for you. What are we gonna do? We'll do this.
Who wants to hang out in a blanket fort with grown men in tiny underoos? Hello.
Oh, I love Community.
I'm gonna see if we can get Nadia to hang out with us on the launch night.
Hell yeah. Yeah, reach out and see if she's free. I mean, horror is her thing, so.
Yeah, so whoever is going to be, my thing is, we find out who's going to be joining us that night, I want to send them the PDFs to Unholy Nightmare 2 as well as the Gollum. That way they can read them both, see what they think, and that way they're not just like, oh yes, this book should be good. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. That's completely fair. I do want to highlight this to Cannoli. He said, stop introducing me to new comics. I can't keep up. Cannoli, it's a good problem to have. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Yeah. But he has been like, I don't know how he and Sassy haven't lost their home with the amount of omnibus he's bought in the past year. I'm like, whoa, that's a lot.
There's some good ones coming out later this year. I bookmarked on Amazon to get.
Oh, dude. I'm like I don't care about anything. Well, that's a lie. I care about a lot of them, but I'm like eyes on the Spectre. Ostrander Spectre. Yes. I cannot. Yeah. When you sent that in their group chat, I had a mini retardo conniption at my desk at work. I then took that link and I sent it to my LCS owner because we've said for years, like, they need to get this repackaged and sent out. They need to do an omnibus. They need to do another collection. And so when I saw that, I was just like, Dave, it's happening.
So in my Amazon cart right now, I've got the Dr. Fate by J.M. DeMatteis omnibus coming out.
I've got the individual issues of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Those are a complete run of that. That's hard to find.
Yeah. I've got, they're not the best shape. I will admit that. But I've got the complete run. I found a comic shop in California that had the complete run, and I was like, I will take this. Thank you.
Yoink. Yeah. My next one I've got in my card is the Fantastic Four Doom 2099 omnibus. That's coming out a couple days before my birthday, so that's coming with me to Vegas. Then the Spectre omnibus, naturally, and there is the Doom Patrol by Keith Giffen omnibus coming out that he did in the early 2000s, that little run. And I got the X-Men Blue and Gold Mutant Genesis omnibus in my cart as well. Yeah.
It's a nice little cart you got there.
It's going to be expensive. It'll be an expensive summer and fall.
I know. I'm going to have to go through Dallas like this.
Yeah.
Just to make sure I'm ready for the omnibus I plan on buying later this year. I do want to shout out Cajun Corey real quick for coming in with 1 gifted membership to Pop by Culture. Thank you, good sir. With that, you also get a video clip, and we're going with Spike for you, my man.
What are you doing here? 5 words or less.
Out for a walk. Bitch.
Love it. Love it. Who else do we have in the chat? We've got the lovely Sherry coming in with hello, Joshua and Dolan. What's up, Miss Sherry? Nice to see you. I think this is the first time I've seen you in the chat. I know I've seen you other places, but I think this is the first time here. So thank you for coming in. MG was giving us a sick on the covers and art for Unholy Nightmare 2. We have Salty Traveling Sea in the house, linked to the campaign. I did resend it, so just make sure it is. Yeah, I'm gonna pin it to the chat in a second, Salty. We had a rough start to today. So
guys, if people watch it, if you can, please spread the word about it. I mean, look, really, I mean, I know it sounds ludicrous and crazy, but word of mouth really is one of the best and strongest things one can do when promoting campaigns for comic books. Word of mouth, you know, for the last 100 years has been like one of the most tried and true methods of spreading words about campaigns. If you can, really get out there and just talk about this. Just send that link to your friends. Hey, check this out. Hey, check this out.
Absolutely. We do have Kaiser Jose, which we talked about this, but we'll say it again. But he put holy pencils on that Gollum. When and where can we purchase this? So we, as you said, we're doing our kickoff campaign on June 6th. So Friday, June 6th. And then the campaign's going live at that point as well, correct?
Yeah, and the best part is, I forgot to tell people, book's done. The book is completely done.
Yes.
Unholy Nightmare 2 and the Gollum are completely done. So when the campaign wraps, we are going to print.
Going to print, baby.
Yes.
Oh yeah. We got Caveat Ties in the house with hey Caveat. I think you are also new here, so welcome. And let's see. Well, people pay I think this might be referring to feet. But people pay a lot for that, Drew.
That's what Tarantino told me. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in response to, I don't know how Cannoli and Sassy are keeping the lights on with all the comics he's been buying. She put, Josh, I've been forced to sell plasma to keep up. It sounds about right. I've had those days in the past, not going to lie. But it's worth it. So, Sassy, you just need to read with him. That's all you need to do. So MG came in with, I thought Rip is end was the best way to get it out there. Represent. You didn't want to do represent, Drew?
No.
We can leave it at that.
Yeah.
And Caveat Ties is new, so welcome. It's very nice to have you here. So if you are new here, we talk about nerd things. A lot of it's comic book focused, whether it's actual comics, TV, or film. But we have quite a few different series that we do for the channel. So with that, now that we're starting at what used to be our regular start time for the show, we're going to go ahead and get into our top 5 comics for April 2025. Woo! As always, we don't really know how to count. So the Drewski here came in with some honorable mentions, and we're going to kick things off with his first honorable mention, which is Superman number 25, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Dan Mora and colors by Alejandro Sanchez. So you've been singing Superman's praises lately. And we didn't fully start off that way with this new run. So what's happened here that things have kind of fallen into place, and what's making this story work for you, Drew?
Okay, so real quick, I do want to say this issue would have been number 1 if. So one thing you left off there, Joshy Poo, is that it's not just Dan Mora on the art here. It was Dan Mora, Eddie Barrows, and Jamal Campbell. All 3 of them worked on this book. And there was some, it may have been Jamal Campbell who did the first couple pages, which really irked me. But regardless, I will say if Eddie Barrows had done the entire book himself, this would have been the book of the month. And probably would have been one of my books of the year by the end of the year. but he didn't. You had Dan Mora and you had Jamal Kimball on here, and it's just like it feels kind of stilted, and it's not one consistent tonal voice with the art, which kind of upsets me because Eddie Barrows schools these guys with his art in this book. It is so damn beautiful. And I do want to say, if you're on Facebook, follow Eddie Barrows on there. He posts his original pencils on Facebook for all of his pages. You can see the original pencils for this issue he posted on Facebook. They are immaculate. And
Nice.
just he is someday he's going to be an artist. And I really feel like he's an artist who doesn't really get talked about that much, which is
No.
he really does need to be celebrated more.
I feel like the thing that I remember him doing first was I feel like he did a run of Birds of Prey like in 2010, 2000, and just his Black Canary looked bomb. So I'll put that out there. But then he did Detective Comics for a while. Like he's done a ton of work, and he's been around for years. He just never has fully gotten the credit that he really deserves. Yeah, and it's a weird thing. Like people will see him on a book and they're like, "Oh, Eddie Barrows, like this guy's great," but then people aren't like, why aren't you putting Eddie Barrows on more? And they really should. So
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If I were in charge of DC, I'd been like, okay, Dan Mora, you're staying on Justice League. Eddie, you're on Superman. Sorry, that's how it is.
Yeah,
them's the
why
breaks.
not? Yeah, those are the breaks. So story wise, what do we have going on here that makes this such a fun issue?
Yeah. Oh yes, the story. I forgot about that. So this is the culmination of like the art in this is fucking beautiful. I can't speak enough of the art in this book. It is beautiful. But this is the culmination of the last 25 issues. So we've got Lex Luthor and his fail-safe Lex that he's had in waiting in stasis to come to life, to take out the Kryptonians, to put him back into power. And by the end of this, we get something that I have wanted and a lot of fans have wanted to happen. And when it does happen, I'm like, thank God this happened. This is about time this joke ended. But yeah, things are shifting back into the right place with where they should be with Superman. And the best part is there's no mention of the damn kids. They just kind of disappeared, which I have
I was going to say we're okay with that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I will admit Superman is one of the titles that I'm a little behind on. When they did this All In, whatever it was, the relaunch, I checked out the first issue. I was like, and then didn't really hear much buzz about it. And then I'd say the past like 4 or 5 months, it's been gaining some attention and some kind of conversation and buzz.
It's it's true. I really feel like Joshua. I feel like he has really stepped up his game. I will say he has, because I've got a theory here, Josh. I got a theory that he got the feedback from Night Terrors or Dark Terrors, whatever the hell it was, in Dark Infinite Crisis, some house of multi-Earth secret wars. That hey, this is not that good. I think that some people told him like, "Hey, this stinks," and I think he had to come to Jesus moment.
Yeah, I also wonder too if part of this was just like, part of me wonders if someone at DC was like telling the editors to get out of his way a little bit too, because for years, if you said Joshua Williamson's name, I was like,
yeah,
because
he's average.
It tended to be average, or he would start something and it'd be good, but he always like really fumbled the landing. And then he went over and he did Duke, which was incredible. And then he also did Cobra Commander, which was incredible. And I was like, so did we just not get to see the real Joshua Williamson all these years at DC? So I wonder if that's part of it too. If finally people were like, hey, kind of let him have some room to breathe and do his thing. Whatever it is, whether it's he really found his stride, and it could be a combination of both. I'm glad to see he's doing the work that he's doing, because it's good stuff, and he's reaching like the peak of his career. So I hope he just keeps channeling it in.
I concur.
Before we move on to the second honorable mention, or the next honorable mention, MG is heading to bed. Good night, MG. And I hope you enjoy watching the playback tomorrow. And then, as Kaiser says to caveat, welcome to the Cool Kids Club. Indeed, welcome indeed.
Like cool kids, be like the cool kids.
That's right. We
That's
dance and we sing. That's all. Yep. That's all you get. Let's move on to our next honorable mention, and it is Conan the Barbarian number 20, written by Jim Zub, art by Doug Braithwaite, and colors by Diego Rodriguez. I was joining both of their names there, but this was the start of a new arc, correct?
The previous issue was
Okay,
the previous issue, yeah, and this is the second part of it, and it deals with Conan. The previous issue is him following this panther in the jungle.
That's right. That's right.
Then we discover, oh, there's actually more to this panther.
There's more. Ooh.
Yeah, and it's just pretty much like an anamorph, as we're calling it, an anamorph, and just takes different shapes, and even takes the shape of a lady. And get into some spiritual elements of Conan here, and that he may be poisoned. There may be something going on with him spiritually. I guess in dark power may have taken hold of Conan. So yeah, it's a fun story. It's back to where it should be, because the previous story before this, it was okay.
Was questionable.
Yeah, questionable.
Yeah.
Question
it was. You know how when you watch like network television shows, you got those filler episodes that you're like, yay.
Yes.
That was the previous arc.
Yeah.
And the art the art was fine. It looked fine, but it just didn't seem to fit with Conan.
Correct.
So we do have this here. Side note, did you happen to pick up the free comic book day issue of
My comic book shop was sold out of all the good stuff.
Yeah, same.
So I couldn't get. It's like what the hell am I wasting my time here for? I don't. What's the point?
I mean, full disclosure, I always tell Dave, like, even if you have something set aside for me, if someone wants it, let them have it, because I will say reorder it, and I know a lot of other customers won't. But they were gone. They were out by the time I got there. But I also had to work, so I didn't get to read it, but I'm excited / curious. I do want to ask you though, because for the longest time, Conan was in our top 5. Like, it was guaranteed pretty much that it was going to be there. So do you feel like it has slipped in quality, or do you feel like it's just getting more competition in terms of the books we're covering?
I think it's a matter. It's both. I think it's slipping a little bit, and it will continue to slip, in my opinion, because we've learned. I learned Roberto Del Toro. He's not sticking around. He can't stick around. He's not going to be doing the interiors for this anymore. He's gonna be over in Savage Sword doing stuff over there.
Which is, I mean, happy he's there, but sad for this title.
Yeah, correct. I mean, he is what made this book sing. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I love Doug Braithwaite. I think he's getting better on this book. I think his work is getting better. But it's good. But it's just, it lacks that nostalgia vibe I got with his art. And the stories are good. I mean, we'll see what happens with the next issues. But it's kind of losing its luster a little bit.
Yeah, there really was just something uniquely special about Roberto De La Torre's art that just, and it's hard to fully describe. You mentioned the nostalgia aspect of it, but it looked good. There's something about it that everything clicked and it fit the way it was supposed to, and just, it felt special. And that's not to say that Doug Braithwaite's art isn't good and doesn't feel the way. It was just so completely complete with De La Torre that it was, lightning in a bottle, and that's honestly what they had gotten.
Yeah, which, as we all know, is so easy to do.
Yes. We're gonna move on to the next honorable mention, and we've got the New Gods number 5. So I remember when the New Gods was coming out, and we were a little concerned about Ram V taking on the New Gods, because Ram V can sometimes be a little too much, yes, and get lost in all of his ideas and subplots and threads, and it takes it a while to go somewhere. And we were worried that something as vast as a story as the New Gods was going to result in that. I'm super happy to see that has not been the case.
Yeah, likewise. I will. However, it's not perfect. It's not, but it's still better than I thought it would be. There are some things I wish you would change. some things I wish he would focus on more than other things. Like I really wish he would focus more on the stuff with Mr. Miracle, Orion and the baby and Big Barda. And I wish he would jettison all the crap at the beginning with the artist telling the history of the new gods. I'm like, no, get rid of that shit. Dump it. Do not put that in here. You do not need this. You're putting the audience to sleep. Do not open your book with this. Put it in the back. If you're gonna put it in here, put it in the back. Just as filler. Do not open the book with this. The stuff with the Nectari, I like that stuff on New Genesis. You really see just how much of a menace that they are. They're ugly and nasty and grimy, and I love what they're doing. But yeah, I'm going along with it still. I am still enjoying it, despite Ron V's best efforts. I'm still enjoying it.
I love that you're like, despite his best efforts, I'm still in. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm still enjoying this. I'll agree that it's not perfect, but it's something that every time I sit down and read it, I don't feel like it's work. Like I actually enjoy taking the moment to kind of escape into the story, and kind of let it go its course. And I do feel like Raimi's an interesting writer, because I feel like a lot of times if you're reading his books on a month-to-month basis, it can feel like it really drags. But then when it gets collected, it works really, really well. So I'm curious to see how this turns out in that respect. So, but yeah. And then we've got our Justice League characters featured on the cover here. So Supes, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern. How does that come into play here, Drew?
Well, let's just say that none of this team shows up except for Superman on the very last page.
Yeah.
So this cover's alive.
DC is bad about this, and I hate when they do it, because it gives it away, and then it sets up this false pretense of like you're excited to see these characters in the story, and then you read it and they pop up on the last page, and you're like, not only did I not get my characters, but you ruined the reveal of the final page. So yeah, come on, DC, do better.
DC, be better.
Be better. Do better, Senator.
I don't know what you gotta do, but just do better.
Do better. Alrighty, we're gonna move on to our next honorable mention, and we have Transformers number 19, written by Daniel Warren Johnson with art by Ludo Lullaby and colors by Adriana Lucas. What happened to Megatron, Drew?
We see this is pretty much the birth of Megatron. We see what he had to endure to get to where he's at in back in Cybertron, like what led him to be to where he is. And we see just over and over and over and over. We're talking hundreds, thousands of times going through scenarios and just being ripped up, destroyed each time. And also we learn of, hey, if there's an Autobot matrix of leadership, shouldn't there be something of equivalent with the Decepticons?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Yes. But yeah, it's a fun read. I enjoyed it. Like, it's not the best issue. It's not the worst.
Right.
I still got a kick out of it. And and the art is pretty good.
So see, I was gonna say, I didn't think the art was bad. However, it wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah, correct. It's like really, DWJ, you couldn't do it for one issue? Come on. Oh, Josh, you muted.
Oh. All right, are we back? Can you hear me?
There you are. Yep,
we're
back.
Yeah, I was I don't want to say bummed by the art, but I missed what DWJ and Jorge Corona did, or do, I should say. And the art felt a little too clean. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, speaking of, I mean, I gotta get, like, we're talking about Jorge Corona. I gotta give him all the props in the world, because I doubted him, from Jump Street. Like, there's no way this guy could handle it, and he fooled
all
me.
Did. But yeah, I will never forget when they announced that Daniel Warren Johnson was stepping down from art. We were like, oh. And then they announced Jorge Corona was stepping in, and you and I were both like, oh God, no. And Max was just like, I'm just sad it's not Daniel Warren Johnson. We're like, yeah, but no, it's worse. You've got to understand. And then once we pointed out who Jorge Corona was, Max was like, oh no, I'm so bummed. And then he stepped in and we're like, what's going on here? Because it's so different than what he usually does. But he definitely channeled Daniel Warren Johnson, and it's been a banger of a book. So I will agree, not the best issue. The art for me wasn't bad, just wasn't what I wanted. Again, spoiled here. But yeah. And look, Max is coming in here and he put Jorge has really stepped up his game. Praise. And yeah, indeed, completely agree. Also, hello, Comic Crusader Maxwell Von Priestley. How are you, sir?
Hello.
But hello. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our next honorable mention, and we have Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma, #1, another book written by Ram V with art. Okay, look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna do my best to say this name. Anand Radhakrishnan, and Butch Geis, and then Mike Spicer. We're going for it. We're trying.
R.I.P. Butch Geis.
Oh, did he pass?
Yeah.
Oh, damn! I did not realize that. So I'm gonna let you talk about this book. I'm going to refrain. I will say I did pull cover B because I think cover B is a much more interesting and attention-grabbing cover than cover A, but I may or may not be talking about this later when I get to my top 5 of debuts.
So, I did not read the original run of Resurrection Man. I just, it never caught my interest. I'm just like, okay, what do you fucking do? A guy gets killed and comes right back. I don't care.
I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. It just didn't dazzle me when I was younger.
Yeah.
But what Ram V has done here is that he really shows why that is special, why that is unique, and what happens to him each and every time. And I dig it. I loved it. And we showed it. And this picks up during one of his lives during World War II. Something horrific happens to him. And let's just say someone who did this thing to him. I don't want to get into it. It is dark, twisted, but let's just say there could be another Resurrection Man. So if you do not know who Resurrection Man is at all, this is a great intro into it. Oh, in the very back, there is a like one of those DC Comics Who's Who, illustrated by Butch Geis, talking about his backstory, who he was, who he is, and his powers, and all that. It's fun. This is a good introductory first issue to the Resurrection Man, and I enjoyed it.
I will say yes, and I will refrain from saying anything else for now.
Okay.
Moving on to the next honorable mention, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #8, written by Jason Aaron with art by Juan Ferreira. I'm just going to say again, Juan Ferreira has made this book what it is.
Yeah, easily the best Turtles artist of all time, if not one of the top 3 or 4 ever. I mean, easily in the top 3 ever. And this issue, hey, we got the bros. They're fighting. They're infighting with each other. They just can't all see eye to eye like normally, like brothers do. They fight.
Yep.
And in this as well, we see that Donnie, they're afraid that he is slipping more mentally. But as we know, as I detected early on, that Donatello isn't as crazy as we thought. And
no.
He may or may not be actually speaking with Splinter. And there's a great moment in this where like the brothers have been on the move fighting so frequently is that they have not stopped to meditate and to listen, to just stop and think and to collect your thoughts and emotions. And there's a great moment of that with Leonardo in this, where he realizes like, I need to stop and meditate. And it's great. It directly reflects what the Turtles do. And there's a great moment at the very end with Donnie. And it's like, I don't know if he represents Job in this, or some. I don't know who he.
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah.
But yeah, he is the brother suffering. He is who's constantly tested and tried and enduring the punishment. But yeah, it's a great cliffhanger, and it is still a strong recommend. I think we're 8 for 8 so far in this series. Jason Aaron, despite his best efforts, he's doing another one, doing a great story here.
It started off a little interesting because all the turtles were separated, but as they came together, like it worked out in some ways because you really felt the story building, and then you felt it kind of like ramp up and then take off. So yeah, no, I'm having way more fun with this book than I thought I was going to. Jason Aaron it doesn't always knock it out of the park for me, so I'm glad I'm enjoying this because especially lately I haven't been crazy about some of his work, but this has been just a fun read. And like I said, I think Juan came in with, was it issue 6?
Actually, yes, I think it was issue 6. He came in and it's just like he came in swinging, and it's like, who the hell is this guy? It's like, who the hell is this? Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's another one that's been around for a while, and every time he's on a book, everyone praises the hell out of him, and then he kind of just disappears. So happy to see him here. I hope he just gets even more work from this because he's freaking awesome. And just as a person, he's a really chill dude. So I always wish him just all the success in the world, but hopefully we let him do their thing here, and then afterwards I hope he gets another really big book. We do have Jamin D coming in the house with a rock on. What's up, brother? Rock on to you as well. Rock on. Drew, we're going to move on to the next honorable mention, which is Batman Dark Patterns number 5, written by Dan Waters with art by Hayden Sherman and colors by Triona Farrell. So, we've talked about this when the first issue dropped for the series. I think we're all pretty much on board. And then the next 2 issues got a little weird and didn't stick that landing, and I think turned some people off. But issue 4 started a new arc, and we're right back to really solid storytelling.
Man, I fucking love this story, man. I love it.
Yeah,
it is just so weird, different, and true to Batman. And it's just this should really honestly be Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. And
I was just okay. Carry on.
It needs to be. It needs that subtitle.
It does.
And I love this for how this different and unique take on the ventriloquist. This is it's just one of those ideas. You see this, it's just like, God, this is so fucking good. How did I not think of this? It's so damn good and different. But just what, not the ventriloquist, Scarface in the ventriloquist. Yeah. We see what they have done to this building, more or less corrupted and warped this building so that the building is a mouthpiece for the ventriloquist in Scarface. Yeah. And we also learn that there may be a twist with the ventriloquist at the end of this issue. Not going to spoil it, but and the art in this, Hayden Sherman, perfect for this book. His art in this is amazing. I love it. Fits the tone of the story perfectly. Batman has been floundering at best for the past year or so.
Understatement.
This is easily the best Batman series out right now. Right next to Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin's really damn good. This is a 1B, I'd say.
I recorded a video with Wes, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, that I think is going to go live either on the podcast or for YouTube while he's on vacation. Not really sure. We used to talk Batman weekly. And then, my day job changed, so that stopped. But I made that. He brought this up because he asked if I had been reading this, and I was like, man, I am, and I'm really loving it right now. And I don't understand why they didn't call it Legends of the Dark Knight, because it's what it reminds me of. When that run 80s, early 90s,
loved it.
That was the bomb, and it was a bunch of short stories like this that were kind of just,
Speaking of Omnibuy, how has that never been collected as an
I don't know. I don't know, because you kick things off like your first like 4 or 5 stories are like what?
You got shaman,
Shaman,
hunter prey.
yep,
I think blades or swords.
yep. I think Venom comes in shortly
Venom,
after.
yes,
Like,
Venom.
yeah,
Great
it's just
bangers, absolute banger. And Hunter Prey is easily one of my favorite Batman stories of all time. Love that one.
It's if you've never gone through and read that series, you need it. Like what we have, or what Black Label tries to be now, with like top tier writers and artists delivering like they're just self-contained stories. That's what Legends of the Dark Knight was back in the day. And you might have a single issue story, you might have a 5-issue story. They just like whatever your story was, go do it, do your thing, and then we'll move on to the next creative team for their story. And it was so freaking good for so long. So some of the best Batman work. I'm happy to see this is kind of like bringing in that nostalgia and kind of paying homage to that, because man, it's good.
JK. Yeah,
Yep.
JK. I was gonna say, man. I think issue 3 it started with.
Issue 4 was the first issue for this new arc.
It was issue 4. Okay.
Yeah, because the first arc was 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5 so far for this one.
Yeah, so start with issue 4, man. Yeah, if you're a ventriloquist fan, you're gonna fucking love this. It is awesome.
Indeed. Alrighty, we are gonna move on to our next honorable mention. Oh no, we're not. JK, honorable mentions are done. We are done with honorable mentions. We're gonna move into our top 5. So for those of you that are new here, just a quick reminder. The books that Drew covers are going to be the overall general top 5. The books that I cover are our top 5 debuts for the month. So the purpose of this is, one, to just talk about what's great that's out there, but also there's always so many new books coming out in a world with a ton of books in general, and it's kind of hard to know what to pick. So I always try to give what I think are the top 5 debuts, or at least the most promising books. So if you want to spend some money to check it out, you can. But we will go in with my number 5 pick for April. And Drew, you can't. Oh no, it's not that one yet. Anyways, my number 5 pick is gonna be Pastime number 1. Weird that this no longer. There's not a dash in the title. I'll put the dash there because it was flowing over, and now that it's in PDF format, it doesn't. So, Pastime, written by Joseph Harris with art by Russell Mark Olson. I expected nothing from this book. I will admit that I'm not the biggest baseball fan, and I was actually quite intrigued, but I will say the stuff that I liked the most had nothing to do with baseball. There is a weird, supernatural, otherworldly thing going on, and it's teased, and I was left finishing this issue going like, I want to read the next issue because I want to know what the beep is happening here. But you follow, we kick things off in 1988, I believe. Yes. And they're in Chicago, and it's supposed to be opening night. It's getting rained out. You've got this older gentleman going into a bar, and he's looking for someone in particular to find out information about a person. And it kind of takes you on this journey of your lead character, who's a black guy who's blind, who used to be involved with pro baseball, and he's got a life experience story that he takes you through. But that's where the supernatural stuff comes in. You learn how he got blinded, which is freaking brutal. And then you figure out that this character that blinded him, back in the late 20s, I believe, is still kind of around and roughly the same age as he was in the 20s as he is in the 60s. And you think he gets murdered, but then he doesn't get murdered. The body disappears. So there's all this crazy, crazy stuff going on. And I think this B cover here kind of teases the supernatural, the occult, maybe vampire. We don't really know. The thing is going on, but I thought it was a fun book. I'm curious to see where it goes. And, I like too, that it's something different. Like we don't really get a lot of comics about baseball. So, what are we humming?
So, I am a born and raised diehard Cubs fan. I love Wrigleyville. I love Wrigley Field. It is the happiest place on earth. But the 1988 in a night game, I want to check the timeline on that because I'm going to see if that lines up correctly. I'm sorry, that's just the baseball fan. That's the Cubs fan of me. I'm like,
yeah,
wait a minute.
So according to the story,
this was right there.
Yeah, according to the story, this was supposed to be the first night game, and it got rained out.
Ah, okay.
So I don't know. I didn't check the accuracy of it. Again, not a baseball guy.
I remember because Bill Murray was there with he was there promoting Scrooged with
Awesome.
Harry Carey at the first night game. Oh, yep, August 1988. Okay, yeah. There we go. So it lines up.
Yeah, again, the baseball stuff I thought was okay. Like this first little bit of baseball stuff in the history was interesting, but you got some scenes where they're actually playing some baseball, and I was like, but other stuff here was intriguing. So, we got some Kaiser's coming in with no Drew, White Sox forever.
Okay, yeah. Well, nobody's perfect.
We're gonna just block Kaiser from. No, I'm kidding. We're not blocking Kaiser. What would we do without Kaiser? We can't block him. Hey, we have Ciexla in the house. Hey, what's up, brother? How are you? Nice to see you here. Drew, we're gonna move on to your number 5 pick for April 2025, and that is Aquaman number 4, written by Jeremy Adams, art by John Timms, and colors by Rex Locus. So Jeremy Adams continuing to deliver, like, I'm just gonna say banger after banger after banger.
It's true,
dudes. Yeah, like just Jeremy Adams, whatever comic he's writing, go pick it up because they've all been entertaining as hell.
Where Jeff Johns was 20 years ago is where Jeremy Adams is now. He is just producing banger after banger.
Yep. Yeah, and it's one of these things. Like, I've had people ask me, like, oh, why do you think Jeff Johns is good? And I've always kind of tried to describe it as his understanding of the characters and then where they are and where to take them is what makes him such a good writer.
Yeah, and respect for the characters, understanding them at their core, their origins, and respecting those. It's very hard to find, and not changing them because you just don't like the character you want to make him your mouthpiece.
Yes,
whatever agenda you got.
I'm gonna let you talk about this issue real quick. I'm gonna step away just to grab some water, but go ahead and tell us about this issue, what happens, and why is it in your top 5?
So if people watching, if you're not familiar with, haven't been reading Aquaman, this has been a fun, daring, badass take on Aquaman, the most badass take we've had. Oh yeah, I was gonna say probably in 20 years at least. Peter David did a fantastic run that was badass. Jeff Johns did one for the New 52 that was really damn good. This one is just awesome. I mean, and so Atlantis is gone, Aquaman's family's gone, and Aquaman's gone to this other dark realm, and we've got mentions of Dagon, a deep sea god is here, but we also learned that there's some Arthurian legend going on in this dark realm involving Arthur. Arion, who's an ancient god from Atlantis in the past, he's here too, and there's a lady in the lake. So there's a lot of Arthurian legends going on here, which I love, and we get the introduction of the new weapon that Aquaman carries and this new badass trident. And on top of that, there's some betrayal and a former mermaid that Aquaman knew. She may or may not be a friend, may not be a friendly in this time around. But it is fantastic. The art is terrific in this. John Timms, man, he is perfect for Aquaman, and I want to see more from this guy. Strong recommend. And honestly, this should have been absolute Aquaman. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be the best absolute book.
Yeah, I honestly not a bad idea. Part of me wonders if they did have this in mind for absolute, and they're like, we could use a mainstream Aquaman. That's good right now. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. JK's coming in, agreeing with you. The art is so pretty in Aquaman. I think he's a good fit. Those mermaids be hoes, though. I'm just saying.
Stink ass.
And yes, skank ass. Oh, your mermaid self. Get back. JK also said Adam seems to be having fun, which shows through his work, and I agree. Like, but Drew, I think this is. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro, if you think he's having fun here, we're gonna talk about another book later. Right? No, I know he's having fun.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, though. It's like, and I think we feel differently now because of the state of the big two. But if you were to talk to us like 10, 15 years ago and someone were to say like, hey, if you could write any character for the big two and they let you go kind of have free range, would you? And I think we'd both be like, hell yeah, we would. Because it's like, I always refer to toys in the toy box. Like, I've always dreamed of playing with these toys.
Yeah.
And, I love these toys. And it goes back to that respect thing of respecting the character, respecting the legacy, the history that's come from them, but also trying to find new fun ways to take them without changing the character. And that's exactly what Jeremy Adams is doing. He's taking this and he's like, we haven't really explored these ideas in depth. So let's kind of go this direction. But everything feels true to character. And it's kind of, I have to assume like it's kind of like being a kid, with maybe when you were growing up and you had action figures and you're creating your own adventures with your action figures. Except
and speaking of that, I mean, Jeremy Adams, I guess he went to like Home Depot, he built the Trident himself, and like he was taking pictures and photos of him posing with the Trident to the artist, like, want it to be like this, he's swinging around like this. It's like that shows love in what you're doing.
Yeah. Agreed. I would love to see him and Jorge Jimenez get on a book together, because Jorge does the exact same thing. When Jorge first started doing Super Sons and Justice League, he went out and bought a Superman costume and would do like poses for himself to like use as reference. And then he would release some of those pictures online. And if you ever seen Jorge Jimenez, the guy's pretty damn fit. So he already looks like he could be. Yeah, he looks like he could be a Mexican Superman, or a Spanish Superman, I should say. But
I'm not gonna lie, Josh. If DC were smart, and I'm not gonna say they're smart right now. They're getting smarter. They're creeping back up. They're getting a little bit smarter.
Right.
A little bit. If they were smart and had Jeremy Adams and Jorge Jimenez on a Super Sons book, where it was the OG, Damian and John as the kids, those two working on it. That's the book at DC.
That'd be a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jeremy has a kid, so I'm sure for him he'd be able to pull just a ton of stuff. That would be such a fun book. I would love to see that, even if it's just a short, short-lived thing. I would still take it. Just make it happen. JK coming in again with, oh wow, Adams and Jimenez, wow, they're both expressive, which would play. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they would really mesh well together. So fingers crossed in the future. Hopefully they'll get to work together. But yeah, we talked about the art, so we'll kind of cover some of this art here. But it's just a fantastic looking book. Again, you mentioned the whole mermaid aspect, and is she friendly or is she not? And Arthur has these new powers too that he's kind of learning.
That's right. Yeah, he's got the powers that Mara had. He's suddenly able to control water now, which he's never been able to do in the past. So he's been learning all these new ways to control water and where to draw it from, which has been fun to read.
Yeah, it's a nice little element to kind of like do something a little different with him. And even though Absolute Power was by far not my favorite, I will say this was a happy accident to come out of it. So yeah, I won't complain about that.
One of the few. We're going to move on to our number 4 picks for April 2025. And coming in at number 4, this is the one, Drew, where I have to tell you, you can't scoff, don't sigh, but we will talk about maybe some of our negative thoughts about this book. But I did pick Solomon Kane number 1. I'm going to start this off with... I'll be right back.
I'm just going to say, for me, the art alone is worth the price of admission here. And this is actually what I want to try to figure out here, is because for me, I didn't hate this book. And I want to be very clear, because I think when it first came out and we discussed it, I was not in the most positive light. But I think that has more to do with it just didn't live up to what I wanted. So for me, I thought it was still a solid start. I still think it's better than most of you see, and that's the thing. Guys was coming in with he was bored out of his mind reading Solomon Kane. That was my thing. I wanted more, and I don't know if Zurcher is potentially building to something. But I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt for now. And I could be proven wrong. It could stay boring, but I didn't mind it. I thought the art again is just beautiful, and you need a good story here. I'm not gonna lie. JK's coming in with eek. That's a bad sign. It's not the best sign, but you can't look at this art and go, man, this isn't something special. And that's kind of where my mind was. I think when you're living up to the what's Drew?
Oh,
Daddy,
I'm sorry. I'm reading actual good Solomon Kane stories here.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Actual things are happening in this, and
well, that's the key. Things are happening.
And on top of that, I'm gonna quote paraphrase Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park. Now, you do plan on having Solomon Kane in your Solomon Kane story, yes?
So here's my question for you. Do you think this is just going to end up being a slow burn that really builds into something good? Because we've seen what Patrick's done in Savage Sword of Conan with Solomon Kane, and it was solid. Like, it was good work.
I think this... what we're seeing here from Patrick Zurcher is that we're seeing what Solomon Kane should not be.
Okay.
So Solomon Kane should be short pulp stories. Like
Fair.
Keep the stories to like maybe 8-10 pages, and you're in and you're out. Perfect. And he is the focus of the stories.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, with the first couple issues of what we've gotten, look, I'm not going to take away. This is a beautiful damn book. It is incredibly damn beautiful. However, it is the most beautiful, boring book we've gotten, and it's beautifully boring.
Yeah.
But and Solomon Kane is barely in the book. He's barely in two issues. And I'm reading this. I'm like, what's going on? Who? You got African tribe voodoo and what the fuck is going on? Where is Solomon Kane going to kill somebody? What the hell's going on?
Right. Yeah, no, that's fair.
It's just boring, and I hope it picks up, and I really hope we see Solomon Kane participate in the action, because right now he is a side character in his book, and that should not be the case for Solomon Kane.
Yep. Part of me was looking at this wondering, because Patrick usually just does art. Like, this is one of his first like full steps into writing. And part of me was wondering is if he had this story or this idea that's more of like a long form story, which I understand what you're saying about the pulp short page count. Let's just do this. But I'm wondering if he had this story and this is like, we have this opening scene-ish type thing, opening act that kind of sets up the world around him before his character comes into play. And which, when you're watching a movie or something is fine because you get it all at once within that 2-hour period. But when you're releasing it on a monthly schedule, it does not work well. And this is the same reason I say, just because you're a good script writer for film doesn't mean you're going to be a good comic book writer, because you have to approach this with the understanding of you've got an issue that's going to be 20 pages ish, 2022, and you have to find a way to make it kind of live and breathe on its own and satisfy your readers so that they want to come back for the next month. So even if that is the case, like, that is definitely an opportunity he needs to work on as a writer. But I'm holding out maybe false hope that that's what's going to happen, and then it's just going to start going balls to the wall within the next like issue or so. But we'll see. For now, it's a beautiful book, and when you're looking at other issues, kind of like those silent GI Joe issues that we got over the past month, I would probably pick this just to even stare at pretty art. But yeah. My number 4 pick, Solomon Kane. Number 1, controversial pick. I know. I knew coming into this it'd be controversial, but I threw it here anyways. Drew, Your number 4 pick for April 2025 is G.I. Joe number 6. So again, we got Josh Williamson coming in. So it's written by Josh Williamson, art by Tom Riley, and colors by Jordi Belair. We mentioned this earlier. Josh kind of stepped onto his own and really made a name for himself with these G.I. Joe books, these Energon books, and he's only continuing that path even now.
Oh, my turn. Oh, good. Sorry. Oh, you're
good.
So I love this issue, and what we've talked about before with covers is that a lot of times the cover doesn't reflect what happens in the book, and this is a case where what happens on the cover happens in the damn book. Like, it's not just in a panel, or 2 panels. This is several pages where we get Duke and Cobra Commander going at it. It's fantastic. And that's what we've been paying to see. We've been waiting to see for these past several issues. And there are consequences. Things are set up, and it is not the end of the story. Things are being set up for the future with some certain robots in disguise. And so it's I cannot recommend this series enough. G.I. Joe, Josh Williamson, he's killing it right now. And I hope he really stays on this trend of an upward trajectory, because he's taken a property from IDW that was in the shitter and really helped bring new life into it.
Yep. A ton of new life. And we've even talked about too how this seems like it's almost inspired Larry Hama to like, all right, I can keep up with you guys. So even in G.I. Joe, Real American Hero.
Yeah, that's been great as well. I mean, what's great with Larry is that he's working with some fucking great artists now. Chris Mooneyham, Paul Peltier, and just like, I'd be enthused too.
Indeed. But yeah, we'll show some of this interior art, which I love some of the stuff that they do artistically here. And it's been consistent since this book started, even going back to like Duke. But they do some just really fun. It's got that blockbuster feel, but then you have things like this that make it feel a little more artistic and
yeah,
unique.
It's hard to explain, but it's got a cartoonish, yet a pulp style. But it's also got there's something a Darwin Cook-esque about it. It's hard to explain, but it's just it's got a fun Silver Age approach to it, and I enjoyed that.
I've never thought about describing this as Darwin Cook-esque, but that seems like, because kind of how you're describing it, a little cartoony, a little pulp, and just strangely unique. Like it's very fitting. But yeah, no, I completely agree. I love these books. I always kind of get lost in these stories, and it's just a fun read. And with so much nonsense out there, like I can't tell you how nice it is just to know I'm going to have a fun read. And it's not, but it's also, I'm saying fun read, but it has depth when it needs to.
Yeah.
So, Kaiser Jose said, delicious issue. I think he meant Solomon Kane. No, I'm kidding. This was clearly for G.I. Joe. And then JK put, I wonder if the editor is helping Williamson focus or if it's just his passion. So we kind of talked about this earlier. Part of me wondered, and look, here's the thing. There are times when editors need to get out of the way, and there's times when editors need to play a role. And there's a time when you have a good editor and he understands both aspects, when he needs to get out of the way and then also when he needs to step in. If you've got a good relationship with your editor, they're going to make your story better. And they're also going to understand when you're just firing, and they're going to let you kind of cook and do your thing. But I feel like whatever this marriage is between the editor and Josh here, it's working, and they just need to keep doing their thing.
Yeah, I agree.
We got Kaiser Jose coming in with $5. 2016 Cubs only won 1 championship. What a bunch of losers. Drew, are you going to take that?
You know what? There may have been 1 championship, but I will go down and say that is one of the greatest World Series that we will ever see. That went down to 7 games, and that 7th game, it was a banger. That was a World Series to watch for a generation. You didn't get any better. It was exciting. It was thrilling. And it's just, gave me almost a heart attack, when I was 10 years younger. But it's just going late into midnight, past midnight, watching the Cubbies. It's just, man, and they finally did it. Just it was, hey, you know what? We're the lovable losers, but hey, we got it. And but hey, be on the lookout. They're always on the hunt.
Indeed. For the $5, I will play this clip because he came at Drew with a little slog, and Drew didn't take it. He turned a negative into a positive. So here we go.
I want to resolve this like civilized men. I'm not threatening you. I'm unarmed. Good.
Love it. Kaiser, thank you again for those $5, man. I really appreciate it. And JK's agreeing. It's very similar to Darwin Cook. Like I'm still kind of stuck on, man, that's awesome. Real quick to continue the baseball, Kaiser 2005 White Sox were unbeatable 11-1, baby.
From what I recall, I think they had help with the baseball strike that year, and some of the things. I think they had a little help, kind of like how David Robinson's Spurs had a lot of help with the NBA lockout that his won last season. They won the NBA championship, but they got one.
He's saying no, the strike was in 2005, but
That's
he
right.
did agree with you. You're right that it was exciting.
Yeah,
I
I dare anyone to watch that 2016 World Series between the Cubs and the Indians when they were still the Indians, and tell me that it was not exciting. Just each game, it was insane to watch.
Sure. I'm going to take your word for it. All right. We're going to go ahead and move on to our number 3 picks for April 2025. And coming in as my number 3 pick, I'm curious to see if Drew's going to give me crap about this one as well. Not necessarily for the book itself, but because of the publisher. And no, I'm not talking about Distillery. Instead, I'm talking about Bad Idea. Drew, did you read Planet Death number 0?
No, I have not. I have not had the pleasure.
Okay, so I will say, one, it's a fast read. There's not a lot of dialogue, but the art is freaking beautiful. And it's kind of like this this teaser tasting menu that they're kind of, presenting you before they get to the actual series, because it looks like it's going to be a series. There's a number 1 issue that's going to be 40 pages coming. I think it's supposed to land in July, beginning of July. I'm on board. Like, they kind of set up this world, this universe where there's this war faction going on. For me, it kind of seemed similar to Warhammer. So I don't know if Max. I don't know if that's going to be good or bad. But if Max is still listening, I want him to chime in if you read this. But I'm on board. I thought it was a very nice tease to a series. It kind of introduced what the conflict will be. And I am actually looking forward to the next issue. And this, for once, Bad Idea may not have a bad idea. This seems like a pretty good idea. They're printing this for really cheap too. So they're doing it all newsprint, even the covers newsprint, which is weird. I don't know if I liked that, but they sold it for $1.99. So good.
Weren't they selling it in bundles or something?
In bundles?
Yeah, like if you buy it wasn't Bad Idea selling them like the book itself like in bundles of like 10 or 11 of different books. Like you had to get.
Oh, I have no idea. I'll have to ask my comic shop. I don't think so.
I think Rob Liefeld was talking about this. That I think they did something like. I'm not saying they did exactly that, but like they made the retailers buy bundles of Bad Idea books for like 10, 15, and like if you did that, you would get a copy of Death Planet or something.
Oh, I have no idea. So I think they could just order this outright, because my LCS owner talked about how he just ordered this. And then when it came in, he was like, I opened the box and I grabbed it, and he was like, I went, man, this is like the cheapest book ever, because it is the newsprint cover. And he's like, but then I opened it up and I was like, that doesn't look too cheap. So good work. And Kaiser Jose is coming in with Bad Idea. Bad Idea is back, baby. I mean, were they ever really here, though? I think it was just speculation. ENIAC got a lot of buzz, and then after that, it's like, what are we doing?
They pop up as frequently as the Groundhog on Groundhog Day. It's
pretty
just,
much, yeah. But
somewhere between the death of a pope and the Groundhog coming out, that's when the new Bad Idea book comes out.
Yeah. I hope to God that they plan on having like a long form story to tell. You can see the interior art here, and Kaiser also put Giorello is the highlight here. I agree. Like the dialogue is very frequent and sparse, but they set up what seems to be a really cool story here. So, and it's basically this guy that's captured here, just pretty much telling these people like, you're about to get slaughtered. Like, yeah, you caught me, but 6 of us kind of wiped out full armies of you, and then we're gonna have our own army. Like, it's nothing over the top. It's just direct. Like, you can kill me, but then there's gonna be more, and it's gonna be your rain of blood coming. And it's just like, he is like, no nonsense, not holding anything back. I'm telling you right now, you're about to get slaughtered, and I hope you're ready for it. And that's kind of how the book ends, is like, get ready for the slaughtering coming this July. And I was like, oh dang. I want it. I want it now. So good stuff. Kaiser said, I was there for Bad Idea and still have the books. Stopped at the... Yep. Yeah. We had to tell Max not to get something. And I can't remember. I don't remember what it was, but he wanted something from Bad Idea. We're like, Max, no. Just say no. Drew, your number 3 pick. Daredevil, A Cold Day in Hell, #1, written by Charles Soule, and art by Steve McNiven, man. I'm going to let you run with this.
Woo, man. This is one I was very nervous, scared, and very apprehensive about reading, because I did not want to be pissed off and disappointed reading this, because I love Daredevil. And I'm just going to be honest. Charles Soule, he has not been firing on all cylinders. I mean, I know whatever he's doing in Star Wars, it's not too good. And everything lately he's done outside of that has not been too good either. So when I saw he was doing this, I'm like, oh God, no. But thankfully, imagine my shock. No, this was really damn good. And Steve McNiven, he is an amazing artist. And it's amazing when you look at where his art was 20 years ago compared to where it is now. He's got a real like a Barry Windsor Smith-esque art style now to his art, and I completely dig it. I love it. And so this story itself, it takes place in this post-apocalyptic future in New York, and Matt Murdock, he's lost his powers. He's an old man, and Wilson Fisk is dead. Others have died, and he gets mugged one day. We just see like the world just falling to shit, and events happen, circumstances happen where he may or may not get his powers back, and it turns into a full-on crazy issue. And then we get 2 cool guest cameos out of nowhere. Actually 3. I think it's 2 or 3. 3. I think it's 3.
3. Yeah.
3. 3 I fucking loved.
Yep.
And this issue just got better as the issue progressed, and it's got me coming back, wanting more. I'm excited for the next chapter. It's beautiful. It's fun. It's action-packed. It's dramatic. It's hip. It's now. It's wow. Everyone needs to check this out. This is, and look, we've had Daredevil has been on a shit run lately. Between this new season on Disney Plus and this Saladin Ahmed run going on.
Oh.
It's been a dumpster fire. But thankfully, in this dumpster fire, this angel appears in the form of Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell.
Cold Day in Hell. I have thoughts, but I'll be saving my thoughts. Oh. But yeah, I will say I agree with much of what you've said. And then Kaiser Jose said number 3, so low.
But so high at the same time.
Yes, I will agree. Since I know what Drew's other 2 are, I could say just hold on to your horses there, buddy. And then he also put, is this the same soul from Lucky Devils? I like it so far. Yes. I was not as crazy about Lucky Devils. I read it and I was just like,
no thanks.
But I only read the first issue. So, if it got better after that, I'm missing it. I might check the trade once it comes out, but I didn't care enough from the first issue to read it on a month. There's just so many books. Moving on, we will go to our number 2 pick, and we'll kick off with my number 2 debut. And it might be a book that we recognize because I'm coming in with Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma number 1. You already got to see the cover. So since we're in the top 5, you also get some interior art. So I'm going to just drag this right over here. But this first page here, you do get to see what Drew was talking about earlier. That's at the back of the book with who is Resurrection Man and kind of showing some of his stuff. And then you get a glimpse of some of the interior art, but it also, the art changes quite a bit as you go into the book. But like Drew said, I really enjoyed this issue. I was not familiar with this character. I did not read the original run, despite it being Dan Abnett. I like Dan Abnett, but it wasn't on my radar at the time. And I didn't really have, I'll be honest, I picked up this book not even realizing it was a DC book. I thought it was an indie book. And as I then went to read it, I was like, oh, this is freaking Black Label? Like, okay. But was really surprised when I started reading this. And Drew talked about it earlier, just some of the depth of the way they explain this character and his powers and how they work, but also the World War II stuff at the end. Holy shit, is it brutal. Like, I will say there was another book recently that kind of maybe touched on similar things. Feral. But God, like this was wild. I'm 100% on board for this ride. I can't wait to see what else they do. Like for me, this just knocked it out of the park. And if you didn't pick up Resurrection Man, go get it, read it. I bet your shop has an extra copy. Like just you're not going to be steered wrong. Just go get this, read the first issue, and then join us on this journey because I think it's going to be a banger of a book. Anything else you wanted to add?
I'm going to prognosticate here. I'm going to say it's going to wind up being better than New Gods.
I agree with you there. I think so. And that's not a knock on New Gods. It's just this seems so focused.
Yes.
And when Ram can focus, he can deliver some really good shit. So, maybe focus isn't the right word. Maybe concise. It seems more concise. So, but yeah. Go pick it up, Kaiser. Go pick it up. Drew, your number 2 pick for April 2025 is Absolute Wonder Woman number 7, written by Kelly Thompson. I know. Art by Matea de Iulis. I need to figure out how to pronounce his name. Drew, I thought we were a bunch of chuds that hated these books and like we would never say anything Kelly Thompson did was good, or we hate everything, or we hate women. Like what? How can this be? Because it's in the number 2 slot.
Yeah, you're right. I still, for the most part, don't like her writing. But what's changed here is that, as compared to times in the past, she has, in my opinion, not had good artists. She's not had quality artists. She's not had superstar artists to work with, which really takes away from the comic book reading experience, because art is a substantial factor when reading a comic book. It can take you out of it. It can take you out of enjoying it. And sure enough, every time in the past, it's taken me out of it on top of her shitty writing. But here, these last 2 issues with this fantastic lights out art, with her stories, which are good here. These 2 issues, they're good. These are killer. these are bangers. These are easily the 2 best issues from the Absolute Universe we've ever gotten so far. And this artist, holy testicle Tuesday, how this guy is not the ongoing artist for this book, that is the dumbest decision DC has made. If that's Kelly Thompson's call, shame on her. If this is the group editor of Absolute, shame on them. That is the dumbest decision. It's like, this is your banger right here. This is your killer book. And for you not to do that, you are stupid. You're obtuse or you're just blatantly stupid. Because I had so much fun with these 2 books. Granted, the stories are good. They're good. They're not great. I mean, this issue here in particular is the Lady of the Tiger. It's a very ancient story. It's very common, very old story that we've all been told this when we were kids. And that story plays out here with Diana and Hell. Yeah. And I dig it. I go along with it. It's fun. And I legitimately, right next to Absolute Flash, these are like the 2 best reading experiences I've had in the Absolute Universe.
Yep.
Where they're actually taking the book seriously. And I cannot recommend these 2 issues enough of Absolute Wonder Woman, because this represents the word absolute. This represents what it should be and what it could be. Unfortunately, what it won't be after this issue.
Yeah, which is wild. So I'm going to say that I'm 99% positive the reason Mateo is not the lead artist is DC and not Kelly, because Kelly picked Mateo to be her artist for one of her indie books. And I would say the reason we probably got these 2 issues with him on it is probably Kelly. But and I look, even these pages, these teaser pages here look fantastic, but they don't even live up to some of his best work in these issues.
Bro, the previous issue, holy shit!
That's what I've got his Instagram up. Let me 1 second to share screen, and let's do this. So I don't know how well you can see that, but that's just like some panels of Diana's gear, but you can just see how crazy detailed and awesome it is. But they just delivered some just bomb images. So her at the throne here.
It's one of those times when you get that, because I mean, this is going back to the 70s. Like, you would get a banger cover artist, like you get like a Neil Adams, banger cover. You open it up, and you get some shitty Johnny Come Lately doing the interior art. You're just like, oh shit, that sucks. Yeah. But here, this is where it fucking delivers on the interiors. This is what you want out of a reading experience of comic books. And like I said, this represents what it should be. This is what Absolute Wonder Woman, this is what the Absolute line should be. And for DC not to continue this, shame on them.
Agreed. The moment they put these 2 together and they saw what this book could be, they should have kept running with it, because it's just too damn good.
I'm not gonna lie, Josh. What just came to mind? This is like if when I'm not saying Kelly Thompson's Chris Claremont. I'll never say that, but it's like if Chris Claremont is working on X-Men and he had just suddenly got Jim Lee doing the art for him, and they're like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to keep him on the book.
We'll let him have 2 issues. He might have a future. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, you can see here just from see, this is his work on the Cole that he did with Kelly Thompson. But God, it's just good stuff. So sad to see that he won't be continuing on the book, because and it's not even just us. Like, I mean, you had I don't want to say shills, but you had your shills that were like, oh, this book is the best this ever because she's a witch and like whatever. And you had a lot of comic fans that were like, it's fine. It's meh. And then the moment he stepped in on art, you had a lot of people go, holy shit, Like, I don't know what's going on here, but this is magic. And then DC's like, yeah, you get it for 2 issues.
Yeah. Got you
What jerks.
good, you fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like farted with a bar of soap and a coffee. Got you good, you fuckers. But honestly, if when we do our best of the year at the end of the year, I think one or two of these issues may wind up in the best of the year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Roman of the Empire came in and said, don't worry, DC will dork it up. That is their thing.
Yeah,
no
true.
joke there. And then Kaiser put, what the fuck? Me, man. Me came for Kelly Thompson slander. And then real quick, JK has to go. Good night, JK. Thank you for coming in and joining us. As always, it's fun to chat comics with you. I hope you have a good night. We're going to move on to our number 1 picks. So, I mean, mine might be pretty obvious after my, I'll let you take this, Drew, and I'll come in later. But my number 1 pick for April 2025 is Daredevil, A Cold Day in Hell. I'm going to mimic so much of what Drew said. I saw this was out and I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, God, they're trying to do another Dark Knight Returns, but Marvel, and I don't know. And it's got
Spider-Man
more of that rain type look, and I'm just like, and then I'm like, oh, Charles Soule, that's not helping either. And I'm like, bro, Steve McNiven though, okay. So that was my glimmer of a little bit of hope. And then I started reading this book, and as I'm reading it, I just remember thinking multiple times, holy shit, are they actually doing this? Are they actually making this a good book? Am I really liking this as much as I am? And I was. And Drew's right. It's a great story. It's that post-apocalyptic future. It's stuff that we've come to see from these future tales of these heroes. But God, they deliver some good stuff. We get 3 cameos, 2 heroes, 1 villain, and all of which are handled you won't forget them. I'll put it that way. So good stuff. The only thing that makes me sad about this is that it's only 3 issues. They're extended issues, so it comes to a 6-issue story. But we'll see. Just hearing 3 issues automatically makes me go no, I want more. But maybe it's the sweet spot. Maybe that's what it needs to be. We will see.
Well, hey, you know what? Old Man Logan lived on after his miniseries, so we'll see what Old Man Murdoch can after this.
Mm-hmm. What about Old Man Hawkeye?
So I got a love-hate relationship with that miniseries. I loved how it opened. That opening issue was a fucking banger. I hated how it ended.
Yeah,
because it suddenly shifted from Clint Barton's story to the lady girl Hawkeye story, and all about her. And I'm like, no, Ethan, I'm not here for her. I'm here for Clint Barton. I don't give a shit about her. This is his story. It doesn't say young lady Hawkeye. It says old man. It says old man Hawkeye. I'm here for him.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's my opinion on it.
What about old lady Harley?
Jesus.
Don't answer.
I think I read an issue of that, and I wanted to know more. Yeah.
Yep, same. I was like, why? Why are we doing this? Kaiser, what he said, aficionados are giving this book too much praise, and it's canceled at 2. I think it's just 3 issues in general.
It was just going to be 3 issues. Yeah.
So it was just one of their here's our little sweet spot that we can then package and collect into a trade, and then hopefully sell for a good while. Which honestly, if issue 2 and 3 are the same quality as this, they will definitely sell us for years to come.
Yeah.
All right, Drew, your number 1 pick. So Kaiser originally said this was too low on your list at number 3. So what could possibly number 1? I mean, could it be a Jeremy Adams book, and could it be Green Lantern number 22?
Yes, this is my opinion, the number 1 book of the month, the best book of the month. This is the representation of everything that Jeremy Adams is doing right. And another thing about this reading experience, look, we're middle-aged men at this point, and I gotta accept that fact. And anytime I can watch something, read something, listen to something that puts me in a state of mind where I am in my happy place, where I feel like a kid again. I'm grinning from ear to ear, where I'm having a blast.
Yep.
This comic book represents that. I was a kid again reading this. I had so much fun reading this book. Between all the cameos in this, the cameos galore, from Hector Hammond to the Phantom Stranger to Director Bones, Agent Liberty, and the reintroduction of the OG Blue Beetle, the OG Daniel Garrett. When we get to the page, this is what happened. This is a true story. When I'm reading this last week, I think it was last week this came out, 2 weeks ago. I'm reading this, and we get to the page where we get the reveal of this man who's been in captivity. I'm like, oh, no way! And I immediately messaged Jeremy Adams. I was like, bro, no flipping way did you do this? No way. And I saw it later. I'm like, yeah, you did it, man! And I was so damn giddy, because it'd been so long since we've seen this character in the comics. He became the Silver Scarab, but the fact that he's back, it's like, oh my god, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you that there are so many characters DC has that they're not using that are great characters, yet they want to introduce all these, lack of a better term, caricatures, not even characters, who are just mouthpieces for the writers. It shows you the real weakness in the storytelling lately with these creatives, and like Jeremy Adams is able to dig into that well, find what's great, and bring them back out. And I appreciate that so much more, and I respect that more. And I hope we can see more and more of these characters in this book as well. The stuff between Hector Hammond and Hal is fantastic. And the interrogation scene between Director Bones and Hal, I got a kick out of that. I was laughing about it. The rescue scene with Dan Garrett, loved it. And when we get to Hell, I am laughing my ass off when we get to see the Green Lantern who's in hell. I was loving it, laughing, because I'm like, I can't recall the last time I've seen this guy in comics, and I cannot wait to see what happens in the next issue with this guy. It's going to be fucking hilarious. Because maybe it's just me, but every time I see that character, I'm not going to spoil who it is. Every time I see that character, that Green Lantern, I instantly use the voice of Seth Rogen for him as that character.
Fair. I love it. Nice. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I'm loving this run. We kind of talked about it earlier. It's very reminiscent of like the way Jeff Johns approached characters and the world and the stories that are possible. They feel like they make sense. It feels like it is a genuine progression. Like you can kind of see how we got here, and it just feels like it's meant to be. Like, I kind of respecting the characters and moving them forward. And this has just been a fun book, and I can't wait to see what else he has in store.
It's only getting better too.
Agreed.
Only getting better.
It's just building on itself too, and it's just like it's one of those rare occurrences where you see a writer that they come in and you can tell they've got a kind of a long form plan that it's just going to kind of grow and grow and grow and grow, and that's what we've been getting. So I've had a ton of fun with this. I think it's a super worthy pick for number one. And Jeremy, keep doing your thing, man, because it's working. So kudos. That is going to wrap up our night. I will remind everyone we have the link for the Unholy Nightmare 2 Kickstarter that is pinned for you. So go check it out. Sign up for alerts, that way you'll be ready, and then we'll be kicking things off on June 6th over on Wes's channel, and that's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. We'll be coming out of Dallas Fan Expo roughly a week prior, so I think we'll have a lot of good momentum going into that. As for what's coming up on this channel, well, we have a new series that'll be launching this week. So if you enjoy Drew and I talking about comics, we're only going to have more of this coming. We're going to have a weekly series that we're starting called Floppy Drop. And the whole point of this is we're going to look at that week's releases, the good and the bad. We'll talk about some comics. We'll probably make fun of some things. We'll praise the hell out of some things. But yeah, we're going to be looking at what's new for the week and deciding, should you drop this in your bag and take it home with you, or should you just go drop it in the trash bin because it's a piece of crap? But this Thursday, we will cover releases from Wednesday, May 7th, and we'll go through some of the comics themselves and pull them up online. But I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And I think it's going to serve as a good kind of like teaser for when we get to top 5 comics, because after we spend a month of each week kind of going through a few things, it's gonna maybe create some questions of like, okay, we know Drew and Josh liked, these books, but what's going to come out on top? So I'm hoping it's going to create a nice little synergy. So we will be back Thursday at 7, and no slides. We're gonna go straight to some websites and check some stuff out. And of course, we're gonna be pulling up League of Comic Geeks to see what they have to say. So yeah, it's gonna be a shit ton of fun. I'm excited to do this with Drew. So if you've missed some streams that have just some comic talk, let's do it. We'll get it done. But other than that, just 2 more announcements real quick. So we did drop our Marvelous Monday for X-Men. It finally came through. Look, this stream, this video was the bane of my existence. Life happened, so I got late in edited it, finally got ready to launch it, and then it was 2 months of fighting with copyright claims. Within doing that, I assumed that while it was blocked, YouTube's blocking it because the copyright claims that were stupid, and clearly I won. I thought that because it's blocked, it wouldn't quote unquote premiere. Well, nope, it premiered. So it didn't let me have the premiere for it. Lesson learned. All right, YouTube's gonna YouTube. It's fine. They're assholes, whatever. But it is out there. Go check it out. We've got Iron Man that'll be coming up next, but I'm not setting a premiere date until I get all the copyrights done, and then we'll go from there. So these might come out a little slow and sporadic. But I just want to make sure that, one, we can get the premiere that these videos deserve, because the guys put time into watching the films, doing some reading before we chat about them. But I don't want to fight that fight of, hey, it's coming this date. JK, it's not. It's coming this date. Oh, JK again. There's a separate copyright claim. So we're gonna just make sure it's fully baked and then set a release date. So future episodes will be coming. Just hang tight. And we will go from there. And next week on Tuesday, we'll be going with the book club that we had to postpone. And we're going to have Swamp Thing Book 2. I've got a lot of the original crew from the first book coming in. So we've got Jim coming in. I'm pretty sure Drew will be there. We're going to have Sammy. Looks like we're going to have Salty again. So I can't wait to pick this up and continue it, because it's just such a freaking this run. This just chef's kiss. So, and then we'll make sure Max is there, that little bitch. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up. Drew, anything you want to leave off with for tonight?
I hope I did a good job selling Unholy Nightmare as well as the Gollum this evening to you guys watching. I hope you guys go to the website and sign up and get notified when we go live on June 6th. There it is, the Gollum.
Yeah.
Come hang out Friday, June 6th on West's channel, Thinking Critical. If I haven't sold you, I'm sure I'll do a better job that night. And I'm sure Josh and everyone else who will have read the books by then will be selling you on the books as well.
Indeed. Alrighty, folks, we are going to call it a night. Thank you again for coming in and hanging with us. Sorry we started late. That is 100% my fault. Actually, it's the Rex fault. But we will see you guys next week. Or actually, we'll see you guys Thursday at 7 o'clock again. So see you then.
Bye.
Get the fuck out!